Hey there, Coach Tessa here from Zeal Performance. And I got to thinking yesterday, I was working with one of our clients who has Parkinson's, and I was thinking about what piece of information I would share with someone who maybe works with a Parkinsonian, someone who's been relatively newly diagnosed with Parkinson's. Maybe you have a loved one who has the disease and you want to use exercise to help them better age with the disease. So 3 pieces of information that you can take right now and start implementing for this. First things first, you want to be as strong as possible heading into the disease. Usually what I find with the Parkinsonians I've worked with in the past is that they get like one lingering injury or issue that just comes up and it just stays and it doesn't get better, and it's just a lingering, achy, naggy thing. If we can keep people strong, we can keep them as consistent as possible in their training routines. That's going to help them maintain their mobility, better train their balance, their stamina, and overall just increase the outcome of the disease. Okay. So being as strong as possible heading into the disease, number 1. Number 2, especially in early diagnosis and depending on the mobility of the individual, learn how to fall. Okay. And this is tough because the skill of falling starts to rear its head later in the progression of the disease when falls are assumed every day. I'm going to assume that my Parkinsonian falls at least once a day, but again, for them, this is their progression of their disease. They've had this for well over a decade. If you can learn to fall, that's going to help so that when you do fall, you tuck and roll, less likelihood of injury in a fall. This is important, gang. For those of you who don't have Parkinson's even, if you ever played sports, gymnastics, any kind of volleyball where you're tucking and rolling out of positions, maybe you're a skier or snowboarder, take time now to learn how to fall so you can learn how to fall, better dissipate force throughout the full, as much of your body as possible. And so that you actually can tuck and roll and get out of the tricky positions that you end up in. Okay, that's number 2. Again, there's a big asterisk with that because depending on someone's physicality going into the disease, it just might not be safe to teach them how to fall. We want them, that skill of falling, the tuck and roll, to just be as natural as possible, ideally in our Parkinsonians. Number 3, routine. Typically with Parkinson's comes Parkinson's-associated dementia. With any dementia, if anyone who you know has been impacted by it, routine is key. As soon as you're pulling someone out of that routine, you are making that individual a little bit more stressed. It's something new they don't know. Their likelihood to respond to your coaching, your cues, to be able to get through a session with lower stress is trickier. Some days are better. Some days are worse, right? Especially with dementia, of all dementias. But with your Parkinsonians, have routine. You're standing in the same spot. You're using the similar equipment. You're doing similar exercises that are all just really good stuff. And you have those as your keys. Even if it's the same time of day, especially if they're taking medications, it's the routine of coming in, being consistent, and making that as low stress as possible. I'm going to give you a bonus one, number 4. With my Parkinsonian, we've been working together now for 5 years. Every day when they would come in, they're a very music-oriented individual. So every day I'd say, hey, what do you got for a song request? And they'd come in and be like, let's get some Alice Cooper. And we'd go through and I would always add these songs to a specific playlist for this individual. Then when they come in, I have that playlist playing for them and I actually turn it up a little bit because they are hard of hearing as well. And when they hear the music, it's like a light switch flicks on, okay? The ability, especially if someone's progressing with their dementia and they're just having a day where they're just in their head, when they're able to hear the music and you just see them, it pulls them out of it. Especially there's a lot of research around music, dance, and Parkinson's. So for those of you guys who know someone who's impacted by this disease, maybe you know a coach who is working with someone who is Parkinsonian, feel free to share this video with them. It's not a true specialty of mine. However, I have history of working with Parkinsonians. And if you can be as strong as possible heading into the disease, phenomenal. Teach yourself to fall, tuck and roll. It is worth doing this and practicing this. Number 3, routine, especially if the dementia starts to set in. Number 4, use some music. Make it lively. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom and sad and all those things that are associated with Parkinson's as well, okay? So happy lifting, get strong, practice your falling, and stay nice and consistent.